Well, it is a cold day here in Florida, and I have something a little different on the agenda today. Behind me might be a little less familiar to you guys, but it is another lurking member of the low-tech garage fleet that has been helping me and my family over the last few months. And I thought, well, this is part of the Jaguar Land Rover family, and I thought I'd share with you what I wanted to do to the truck today. So plenty of you, I'm sure, are familiar with the Land Rover L322 platform, which is what we have here. If you guys enjoy the video, let me know and I can do a lot more content on this because just like the Jags, there's always something to do. But here is today's project. And for those that care, this is an OEM tow bar, which has been pretty hard to source here in the US, but I finally found one. And admittedly, we don't do that much towing, but it's always useful to have. You just never know when it'll come in handy. So I've been looking around for this for quite a while, and I actually found it in a junkyard. And today we are going to install it on our Land Rover L322. I thought this would be useful, especially as it is a factory one. This is how the dealer would install it if you had it done at the dealership, or equally if it came from the factory with the tow bar. This is exactly how it's installed. So anyone that wants to add this to their L322, at least you have an understanding of how to do the job. And step one is going to find us inside the trunk area. We have to tear out quite a lot of this trim pieces because actually you have to unplug some electronics back here, and also basically the way this mounts is into where the crash bar is. So it's a super strong connection, but you have to take the whole bumper off, and that requires getting access to the trunk area back down in here. So let's get started. Okay, well, that was fun. As you can see, there's quite a lot of trim that you have to take out so you can really access where the bolts for the crash bar mount. And let me show you where that is now. All right, well, now you find me inside the trunk area. Basically, let me get this light here. But these bolts here are part of the crash bar. And then if we come over here, you'll see the remaining two. And so we need to undo all of those so we can remove the crash bar as part of the installation. And here are the other two lurking. There we go. These are the other two hiding down here as well. So now you get a little bit of an idea why you have to take so much of the trim out in here just to access these bolts. And the next piece of this is this whole rear bumper cover has to come off. Reason being, we have to take the crash bar out that is behind it so that we can mount the new tow bar. Let me take you underneath and I'll show you what we have to undo here so we can remove the bumper. All right, you find me underneath the truck and you can see this little bolt here. And as we move along the bumper cover, we'll see another one. And then as we keep going, here's another one. Basically, these follow along the whole underside of the bumper cover. So we want to start by undoing all of these. There's also a 10mm lurking up here. And right here is kind of dirty, this one, but maybe you can see it. So this one. Okay, so once we've got these screws removed, we want to get this cover off here too. So I've got a little body tool here. You can just kind of pry. It's coming up nicely. There we go. And work our way along. So with the cover removed, we've revealed more little screws all the way along here. And this will give me a good chance to clean this up as well. So let's get these out. now we gotta be real brave and just tug on the side of the bumper cover just to release it from the clips. So let me show you what we have to do. So there's a few clips. You have to basically get behind here. There she goes. I think I used this to help just release the clips. There we go. And now she's off. All right, now let's just pull the bumper cover off. Try and be careful here. Don't want to damage the paint, and I think the parking sensors are still plugged in. But she's down. And with that out of the way, we have revealed the crash bar, which I showed you guys earlier in the video where the hardware is, but let's take a look at it now. So here it is. As you can see, it's in good shape. If we get down real close, you can see where it mounts right into the frame down here. And this is where the factory tow bar sandwiches with the crash bar. And that's why we have to actually remove this as the next step. Well, kind of like I showed you guys, not the easiest to get to access-wise, but in the end, got the crash bar bolts off. So let's lift this thing off, and we are one step closer to getting this tow bar in. So with the bolts out, we should just remove the crash bar like so. And what that leaves us with is really like the tow eye that you have from the factory when you don't have the tow bar. You can kind of see as we go under here, that bolts up just right here. So we have to undo these pretty large bolts. There's one here. There's actually one kind of up inside here. And then this will drop away. And we are pretty much ready to install the new tow bar. Obviously, this needs to be removed as well. So let's get to it. All right, let's get this thing off. Woo-hoo. Okay, so we got the tow eye removed. The one kind of tricky thing is just over here, the exhaust hangers. You have to get the little rubber bushings off. Wasn't too bad. Let me show you where they are. So those are just these guys. They came off actually quite easily for me. They weren't too bad, but you do have to pry them off to get the bracket out. So let's get on with the other side. Okay, let's get these exhaust hangers off. I can rotate this way to get the back one off. And we're off. So the exhaust is just kind of hanging in space there, so I have to be careful of it. Try not to knock it. But now we can actually get the new tow bar and get that mounted back up. So time to move the factory tow bar into place. Well, that was entertaining, but it's in. Pro tip, definitely use a jack to lift it or have someone else help you. The thing's real heavy and the balance point is really off to this front edge here, so it just wants to tip down the whole time, and trying to lift it yourself is really not a feasible way of getting it installed. But as you saw, I used the jack to kind of lift it up from under here, and then it was not too bad to get in. So let me show you what we've got done. So here it is. Went in pretty nicely. Obviously the crash bar is going to go back through this and then clamp to kind of this crash structure at the back. And then you can kind of see, but basically these holes here are just where like the toe eye was before. As we go underneath, we can see it mounted up into the frame here as well. I do have to put the exhaust hangers on. That was another thing I found. Just take the hanger off the bracket. It kind of snakes in there a little easier and you're not getting caught up on these. So let's get the exhaust hanger brackets back on and we'll be one step closer to being done. Well, there we have it. It's in. And now when we look underneath, the exhaust is all tucked up nice like factory and it's hanging on the correct hangers on the tow bar. And just a glimpse for you all, this is kind of how the configuration is to hold the muffler up. So with that, it's time to put everything back together. So I think that's a perfect opportunity for some time lapse. You can see me get this put all back together, but now with the factory tow bar. Outside is all back together, bumper cover on, and look at that lovely OEM finished tow bar underneath. But don't worry, we still got to put the interior back together. So let's go do that now. Well, there you have it. We have successfully got the tow bar installed on our L322. Like I said, this is an OEM tow bar, which means it is exactly how it should be installed from the factory. So as you saw, this is completely bolt on. There's no modification, no nothing. Just got to take the back bumper off, crash bar, put the new one in. The exhaust mounts up perfectly and you have that awesome OEM look. And I have to say, I'm really thrilled with this. I mean, you can really not even see it underneath here, which is exactly what I was going for. So I still am looking for the OEM harness. It is out there. It's a little pricey. And obviously this is a budget vehicle for me, just like some of the other Jags I have as well. And so I'm gonna be looking out for an OEM harness, hopefully a takeoff instead of a brand new one. And we can get that installed as well. And then we are ready to put this truck to work. So thank you so much for watching. If you did come this way because of the Land Rover content, I am just introducing it to the channel now. So please let me know if you like this content, if you find it interesting, because I'm sure a lot of you know these cars always need tinkering with and I have all the stuff to maintain them. So I will be more than happy to share more content on these if you guys find it interesting, along with the other cars in the shop. And with that, please consider subscribing if you can hit the notification bell and please drop me a comment. That would be awesome. I do my best to reply to everyone where possible and share my experience with what it takes to maintain these cars. And equally, I learn a lot from you as well. If there's a specific video you want to see on how to do a certain piece of maintenance or how to do something that maybe I haven't covered in the past, drop it in the comments. If it's in the pipeline, I can always reshuffle content to get it out a little sooner to you as well. But with that, I hope you found this informative. I know I am super excited to try this tow bar here in the near future. I know there's always projects coming to the shop and this will be super handy to tow some of those home if I don't have the truck with me. So with that, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you all on the next episode.